Hi YouTube, today I am going to be answering the childhood tag, and this is part of a collaboration with loads of other fabulous YouTubers, and the links to the other videos will be in a playlist which I'll put in a description. So after you've watched this and learned about my exciting childhood, you can go and watch all the other videos and learn about everyone else's exciting childhood, because what better thing is there to do with your time than watch YouTube videos? I mean, be real here. Okay, so question number one is, what was your favourite vacation you went on as a child? Well, I guess this probably depends on what we are defining child for the purpose of this tag. Because technically, I was a child until last year, because I was under 18. But I wouldn't have really classed myself as a child for the past few years. So let's just say, I don't know, let's just say I'm answering questions from up until I was like 14, maybe. I feel like that feels appropriate. 0 to 14. Okay, so my favourite vacation from between 0 to 14 would have probably been the ski trip we went on in year 9. So yeah, that was 14, and that was really fun. That was amazing. That was literally like, oh my god, can someone take me skiing again, because it is just so much fun. And I mean, like, loads of stuff wasn't quite right, like with my mental state and my physical health and other things like going on, in the family then, but it was still such a fun trip, and it was just so much fun to ski, and it's so freeing. Like, you wouldn't understand how fun skiing is until you go. Before that, if anyone wants like my favourite vacation from when I was younger than that, I would say it was when I went to Woolacombe Sands, I think, with someone called Lauren and someone called Ashley. And they were kids living with my aunt at the time, and so we were kind of friends, and we kind of got on and played together. I think Ashley was around my age, maybe a bit younger than me, and Lauren was a couple of years older than me, I think. Don't quote me on this. Just realised I'm using real names. I don't think they'll mind. We don't know each other anymore, so I don't think it matters too much. You're not gonna like find them by listening to me talk about them, because you're just, I mean, you can try, but you're probably not. Anyway, yeah, and so we went to Woolacombe with my parents for however long, and it was quite fun. We dressed up, we fell down a ditch, Ashley had knits. I don't know, it was fun. Like, the dressing up as a mermaid part specifically, I weirdly do remember dressing up as a mermaid and like playing in the park. We used to go to Woolacombe Sands quite a lot when I was a lot younger. I mean, this was when I was a lot younger. Yeah, it was just a really fun place to go on holiday back in the day when you're a kid, and who doesn't love kids' entertainment in the evenings, as well as playing in the park and, dressing up for fancy dress competitions as part of the kids' entertainment in the evenings. Like, yes, that was so much fun back in the day. Okay, question number 2 is, who was your first celebrity crush? I have a confession to make. My first celebrity crush was the actor who plays Zach in The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Like, okay. I mean, I was probably about 10. I can't have been much older, but yeah. Definitely, the guy who plays Zach. I mean, because gotta love the bad boys, right? Definitely something that has continued on throughout my life, becoming attracted to like the slightly more edgy and like the bad characters in TV shows. I mean, not just in like a crush type way, but in a them just being my favourite character in general type way. What did you want to be when you grew up? Loads of things. Okay, so I wanted to be a vet at one point. I don't know why. I thought I could somehow handle being a vet. Like, whoa, Hannah, like, okay. Yeah, I wanted to be a vet. I obviously wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be a singer for so long. I remember watching Hannah Montana and just wishing I could be Hannah Montana, because at that time, when you're like a 10 or an 11-year-old, you know, nothing in the world would be better than being being Hannah Montana and living the double life and having the best of both worlds, like, you know, quite literally, as the theme song says. Yeah, so I also wanted to be a marine biologist at one point. Yeah, just like all sorts of things. I guess you see like my love for animals and performance in the main things I wanted to do when I was younger. Maybe I was just destined to become vegan. What was your favourite school subject? I'd say probably art and drama. So like, you know, the artistic subjects were like my favourites long term throughout the entirety of school, but like I had different favourite subjects depending on the year and depending on the teacher as well, if you get what I mean. So I really liked music until I went to secondary school, because the secondary school music teachers were just horrendous. I mean, Mrs. Flood was just no, like she was the devil in a music teacher, and she terrified me, and she completely ruined my love for music. She completely just stopped me from pursuing music as an option in life, because I hated her so much and I could not stand lessons with her. I mean, it was that bad. Like, I could have been some musician by now. Yeah, I remember like the music teacher back in year 5 said he hoped I continue with music because I was good at it and I loved it, and you know, I was passionate about it. But then secondary school came around and I was like, no, cannot deal with the hell that is music because these teachers are horrendous. So yeah, still the artistic subject, I guess. But I also really liked English in year 10 and 11 because I really liked the teacher we had, and RE in year 10 and 11 because let me tell you, our RE teacher in GCSE years was hot. I mean, like, let me tell you, I had a big crush on him, so did every other girl in the class. Yeah, and he's married, unfortunately. But, oh my god. And he's vegetarian. I mean, what more can you want from a guy hot and vegetarian? Like, please, just, oh my god. But he's married, so obviously, you know, he was taken, and I was 15 or 16 at the time, like, obviously, yeah. How did you find out Santa and the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy wasn't real? Well, Santa, this is quite a funny story, to be honest. My parents, being the rookie era making people they are, used the same wrapping paper for their presents from them and from Santa's presents from him. And I was already kind of questioning whether Santa was real or not. You know, I was 10. I kind of already knew Santa wasn't real. I kind of logically knew that Santa couldn't exist, you know. I'm not stupid. I did logically know, you know, there was no way he could realistically travel around the world in one night. But I was kind of in denial. And it was this wrapping paper that kind of just pulled the final trigger, and I was like, Santa's really not real. Like, my heart is broken. He's really not real. Imagine how that could break a 10-year-old's heart, you know? The Easter Bunny, I don't know how I found out the Easter Bunny wasn't real. I think you just get to that certain age where you're like, obviously there's not a big bunny coming around, dropping off Easter eggs, getting into the house. It's just not possible. The Tooth Fairy, this is another exciting story. My parents, again, my parents decided not to put the tooth under the pillow. I don't know whether they the tooth under the pillow, the money under the pillow, and take away the tooth. I don't know whether they forgot or whether they just forgot. Whether they couldn't be bothered, I don't know. But basically they came up with the excuse that the Tooth Fairy doesn't come on Sundays. Like, bitch please, of course the Tooth Fairy comes on Sundays. No, I wasn't buying that, and I was probably, again, you know, same as Santa, of an age at which I kind of logically knew the Tooth Fairy wasn't real, but I still kind of had that imagination and still, you know, I was kind of in denial and kind of wish the Tooth Fairy was real, because the Tooth Fairy, like, I always loved fairies, you know. I used to pretend to be a fairy. I used to think I was a fairy. I used to live, breathe and dream fairies. I mean, you know, so I think I was just in some kind of denial, and that kind of pulled the trigger. As with Santa, who was your best friend and how did you meet? Which best friend are we talking about here? This could go on. So I had a best friend called Dana in primary school from year R to when I moved in year 2. We met at school, obviously. Yeah, and she was really into gymnastics and we were friends for some reason, but we're completely different people now. I mean, it's weird how I could have been friends with someone like that back then, but now I could not be friends with someone like that because she's completely different to me. You know, she's like one of those popular people who does all of those things popular people do, and I'm not one of those popular people who does all of those things that popular people do. And beyond that, my best friends in junior school, I had a best friend called Harmony. And again, you know, we met in school and we had a bit of a love-hate relationship. Basically, she bit me in year 3 and year 4 because, I don't know why she bit me in year 3, I can't remember that. She bit me in year 4 because I was better at sport than her, because I was better at the bleep test than her, so she got jealous and decided to bite me. Like, yeah, because that's what you do. You bite people when you get jealous. But we were still kind of friends and we still got on, and she was always there and she always remained a friend when everyone else wasn't remaining a friend. And she was always just so much fun. She has some sort of like mental retardation problems, I think, or like something. So she was just fun to hang around, if you get what I mean. I mean, she said things that other people of that age wouldn't necessarily say, and it was just a laugh to be with her. And, you know, especially once, you know, I entered into my teenage years, and yeah, so she was my best friend until I was about 13 probably, and we kind of just grew apart because I kind of got too mature for her immaturity. Yeah, because that does happen. I just, you know, got too mature for that shit. And I also had a best friend called Laura, who, again, I met at school. This isn't very exciting, you know, I met all these people at school, and she was so much fun. Yeah, we were friends in junior school and then throughout the whole of secondary school, and she was the best. She was literally the best long-term friend I could ever wished for. She was amazing. She was always there for me, even when I was going through my chronic illness, even when I was going through my eating disorder. She was just always there. She always seemed to understand me. We always had so much fun together. She was just amazing. Like, words cannot describe Laura in the way that she deserves to be described as. I mean, she was just such a great friend to have. Like, she's one of those friends who you wish you could have forever and you just want in your life forever. And I don't know if I'd ever get a friend like Laura again. I mean, I do have a best friend now, but she's not like Laura in the way that she doesn't seem to understand, like, my problems, and she kind of seems to, like, care about her own problems more than mine. Yeah. And, like, we still have a load of fun together, but I don't think I'm ever going to have a friend like Laura ever again in my life. And that is very sad to say, because it's sad. Okay. What were your favourite sports and hobbies? Loads of things. You're going to think I'm a very privileged, spoiled brat right now, probably by watching this video. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I seem like a privileged, spoiled brat. I'm not middle class. I'm not a privileged, spoiled brat. I just seem to be fortunate in having done a lot of things, because my parents kind of showed their love in letting me do a lot of things. Anyway, so I loved gymnastics until junior school. Yeah, I did gymnastics until junior school, which I absolutely loved. Horse riding, rode horses from like year 3 to year 9. Oh my god, horse riding is so amazing. I know some people say it's not vegan, and sometimes I do think I have to agree with that in some circumstances. Well, you know, in most circumstances with commercial riding stables, because I do worry the horses being overused, and it breaks my heart to say that it might not be vegan and it might not be best for the animal unless you were to have your own horse and you were to know the horse was treated well and it was like a two-way process completely, because horse riding is so amazing. It's so much fun, and it's just everything. Like, horses are amazing. And it wasn't like just riding horses I was into. I did like go to clubs and like holiday things. Yeah. What other hobbies and sports have I done? Tag rugby. I played tag rugby in year 6, and I played in the Hampshire Games, and that was also really fun. I quite enjoyed tag rugby, to be honest. Don't know if it's something I'd play now. I don't know. Maybe I would, but yeah. I enjoyed that back then. Played the clarinet. Played the recorder. They were hobbies, I guess you could say. I used to like dance around my room a lot. Is that a hobby? Dancing around my room pretending I'm in a musical? I think that should count as a hobby, right? Dancing around my room pretending I'm in a musical. Yeah. Anything goes right now, right? Yeah, okay. And I think that's probably like my main hobbies when I was younger. I mean, I've probably like forgotten things, but I would say they were like the main things I did for fun back then. And now I have lost the questions. Well done, Hannah. How would you describe yourself as a kid? I don't know how I describe myself as a kid. I was a fairly confident kid until secondary school, and then the confidence vanished. Yeah, I was that, and I was also that kid, you know, in secondary school. I wasn't that naughty kid who was openly naughty and disruptively naughty. I was that naughty kid who didn't listen in class and who was busy drawing and writing fan fiction instead of doing the work they were meant to be doing. That was who I was. I mean, I was also for a time that naughty kid who kissed her boyfriend in the PE store cupboard. Yeah, I did that. But yeah, most of the time I was kind of like that quietly naughty kid who every teacher thought was really good, really intelligent, and listened, and you know, was like amazing, but secretly I did not pay any attention, and I just spent my years drawing and writing fan fiction, because why the hell not? I mean, there's nothing better to do in a maths class, is there really? I mean, if you want to tell me there is something better to do in a maths class, then go ahead. You can have your opinion in liking maths, but it's not something we will share. What's the next question? Who was your role model? Okay. This is even worse than the who was your first crush confession. My role model was Miley Cyrus. You know, until she became a slut, of course. Yeah, I have said earlier in this I wanted to be Hannah Montana. She was my entire life. I have her autobiography in my room at home. That is how much of my entire life she was. I mean, it might be in the attic now, but basically I bought her autobiography and read her autobiography, and she was just my entire world back then when I was younger, and she's not my entire world anymore. Obviously, I don't really go around listening to Miley Cyrus anymore, just in case you all want to know. But yes, back in my pre-teen years of being Hannah. Yeah, I loved Miley Cyrus. Okay, final question, which is good because this is now 20 minutes long. I don't think this was meant to be 20 minutes long. What advice would you give to your 8-year-old self? Well, I don't know, because at 8, my life was pretty fab. I mean, again, I don't want to brag, but when I was 8, I didn't really have anything that advice needed to be given on. You know, my life was just amazing. I mean, I had friends. My parents loved me. I wasn't chronically ill. I didn't have any mental illnesses. I was good at school. There's just... What? Like, when I was 8... You know, I mean, I was slightly bullied by one girl, but it was nothing extreme and it didn't really affect me very much. So I don't know, maybe I'd just like say don't get in with the wrong group of friends or something, because I do feel like I did, you know, my life was fab when I was 8, but I did in sort of like year 3 kind of get in with a group of girls who weren't really like my type of group of girls. Yeah, so maybe that, if anything, but even then it still didn't really harm me too much. It was still, you know, we still had fun together for like a couple of years until, you know, we separated a bit more and I obviously had my own separate group of friends. Yeah, that's really the only piece of advice I can think of though, because life was fab when I was 8. Take me back to being 8, please. Yeah, anyway, that's it. Finally, after 22 minutes, and I will see you in my next video. Remember to watch all the other videos in this playlist. Hopefully they won't all be 22 minutes long, because I think 22 minutes is a bit too long, but you know, I like to talk, so I do talk. And yeah, watch all these other videos. Follow me on my other social medias, like, comment and subscribe. Tell me something exciting about your childhood if you want to share that, and I will see you in my next video.